Oh, I thought it was. Hello.
So, Raven.
We're playing Weiss Schwartz right now. It's not card fight.
This is Weiss Schwartz.
Right now.
Oh, I've never played that.
You should play. Learn to play.
I've got 2 decks on me.
It's really simple. Do you like anime?
God, isn't that one of those games that takes like freaking forever to learn?
No.
Actually,
It's
if
really
you have
simple.
a teacher, it won't take you forever to learn.
Do you like anime?
Yes.
Raymond's not
There you
stupid,
go.
is he? Is Raymond stupid?
Yes.
Is Raymond stupid?
Yes.
Is Raymond cute?
I don't know, man. Let me get you a mirror.
Here you go.
Alright, well, let's see what you got though.
Yeah. I'll let you play this because this deck is more awesome. Both decks are pretty good, but that one is like legit tech. Oh,
Let me look at
Do you come on deck?
Yeah.
so I
see your deck kind of revolves around this shit.
yeah, it's like almost all
Did you?
me.
Yeah, I cut. Did you cut?
Yes.
How have you been, man?
It's
Ready to quit?
right?
Yes.
Finally.
You always ask that.
I pseudo quit.
Because
It's a
Buddy
bit of a
got
story.
6 and I forget.
I didn't
I got a
actually
5
quit
on
my
100.
tuition.
On 100?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I was. I
I
thought
thought
you
you
could.
forced you to quit.
Sort of. Yeah.
I didn't even
Pretty
look.
much.
I see my
What?
Okay. Yeah, you did.
Should have told
I'm
that
gonna
bastard, hey.
2.
No, what happened
Okay,
was
I'm
he
sending
stopped
for
telling me when to come in.
Oh, this is okay.
I was like,
Oh, this is pretty
"Alright."
decent. Okay.
So I called him like that. There
Oh, I
was
go
one
first.
Wednesday.
Okay.
We're recording, right?
Yeah, that's recording.
It was one Wednesday.
Okay.
The Wednesday before the Wednesday that I didn't show up. He hadn't told me that I
Okay.
needed to come in on Wednesday, but I was like, well, you know, he always has me work on Wednesday because well, Yu-Gi-Oh. And I was like, okay, so I'll call him. I called him at 11,
Kyoko
and I was
confesses
like,
a pass.
hey, do I need to come in?
She's
And
just
she not
35.
Kyoko?
he's like, yeah, I thought I told you that. I'm like, no.
See, they'll
All
get.
right, well,
They,
yeah, come in at noon. I'm like, okay, so I
Cube?
can come in at noon.
If anybody gets it, they
planned
should
for the
make a
worst.
comment. They should leave a
Took a
comment.
shower.
So you should say stuff.
Showed up, worked the day. Then at the end of the day, he didn't
2?
tell me when
Sure, I'll
I needed
take
to come in next.
yeah, you'll take that.
And so I was like, all right.
Okay.
So I didn't go in on
Yeah.
Thursday,
Can you see that?
which
Okay.
he never called me or
Yeah, you
anything.
can see everything.
That kind of looks familiar.
Draw.
I just
I can
drop
see
it
my
in.
hand.
Yeah, man.
Clock?
Let me ask you again. Is Raven stupid?
Yes.
Clock.
Like, you know what? I don't even know anymore, man. Just don't. No, and then, so that Thursday I didn't go in. He never called. Then on Friday, he called me about 7. I was like, hey,
Remember that's the camera on.
oh,
We're talking about
I don't know. I was too freaking out.
The other
I think it's
character-
here.
the odds of the person seeing this are probably kind of low, but
The other character in the middle center stage
Even if
gets
he
plus
sees it.
500.
It's all true.
Suicider.
So that Friday, I
Suicider.
go in, or I don't go in. I don't go in, and he calls me at 7. I'm like, is it, weren't you planning on coming in? And I'm like,
For 3.
no. He's like, well, I need you. Oh, weren't you planning on coming in? He's like, you never told. I was like, you never told me to. And he pauses and he goes, no. And
One?
the next day was a Super IQ, so I was like, hey.
okay.
And I just kind of interrupted him, and I'm thinking, and I was like, oh, it's fine. I was like, so
such a good number to be at.
should I come? When do I need to come in tomorrow? He's like, come in at 9 o'clock. So I go in, and I help him with the Super IQ and everything. And at 6 o'clock rolls around, he's like, all right, you know.
So
you
if
can
she
head
gets
out now.
reversed,
I've got
she'll
this now."
reverse whatever reverses
Okay,
up.
cool.
It's a 0, right?
Yep.
And I'm on the other side of the counter, and
That's great.
he's at the computer, the laptop with the, and I'm like, and I noticed that he had my tab open, and he's kind of like messing with it, and I'm like, so when do you need me in tomorrow? And he kind of like starts stuttering. And I'm like, oh, what's he doing?
Kyoko confesses a pass
And
again.
I interrupted his stuttering, and I was like, noon? And he goes, and he had me work every Sunday, right?
Play
For
Vanguard?
Vanguard.
Yeah. You have a tournament?
No, I'm good. I don't even have any Vanguard
He
cards.
doesn't play Vanguard yet.
Oh.
But we're teaching him Weiss Schwartz.
This,
Oh.
So
This
we're gonna
guy-
White Schwartz tournament?
gate.
yeah,
I
awkwardly,
wouldn't even stand a chance. I don't know.
you have a really good deck
How
right
much?
here.
For one?
Anyways,
Just one.
go ahead.
I got a
But no,
gate.
basically,
My turn?
Yep.
at that point, I was
Draw.
like, come in at noon? He's like, yeah, that'll work.
Come on.
So I show up at noon, and I would have run Vanguard, but this man was the only one there.
Because he drove everybody away.
Oh yeah.
Nick?
No.
Yeah, because
Face
that
stuff.
face.
But
That face. Cards in hand?
so I'm like, okay. So he shows
7.
This is the awkward thing. It was like 3 o'clock-ish. He walks in the door. He looks around for a little bit. Doesn't say a word to me.
Katori. Day 1.
Just
And
looks
then I
at a
can
few
pitch a
things
card from my
and
hand.
leaves. Okay. And the Sunday rolls
Search.
around. This is when I'm supposed to get paid. Not getting paid. He's not there to tell me when I need to be in next.
Search.
Alright. So Monday rolls around. Store's closed. Tuesday. Don't go in. Wednesday. Don't go in. Get a message on Facebook on Wednesday. So I'm guessing since you didn't show up that you quit. That's fine. I need my keys as soon as possible. And I'm like,
Never paid you?
YOLO swag.
That's messed up.
yep. Okay.
We pretty much ran off all the customers there.
He
I
did.
mean, no, I'm not kidding around, dude. That dude's total.
For 2.
Man, I don't know who that is.
Unbelieve
That older woman.
Lovely's-
That's his mom.
I
Man,
always
she's
felt
like,
sorry for
she
her.
gives everyone that look. Like, oh, you're gonna steal something from the shop. I'm like, really? You freaking
feel
serious?
Sorry, she sits there.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
I feel.
I feel sorry for her for having
Go.
to sit there all day though.
Okay.
But here's the
Sure.
thing. So your opening hand. Okay, so the way this game works, the resources
turn?
in this game, like I don't know if you even know remotely how Vanguard works, but in Vanguard, so like you would ride to
Get your
one and you can
Vanguard.
call one, ride to two, you can call two.
Okay.
So that's the resource system in Vanguard basically. You call each turn, you have the ability to ride to the next one, and you call
What are
those
your
units.
powers?
And this you'll notice in the upper left,
2,000,
you
1,500.
have a level.
Only this one has power?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's in the center.
Well, in this game, instead of
Or middle of
having a
center.
Vanguard that
Wait,
you ride,
middle of
what
center,
you do
right?
is you
Yeah.
actually
Because
have
center
two
is the
zones
opposite.
representing your damage.
middle of center.
You have
Aggressively
the clock,
hostile
which is your
Kyoko?
damage on that current level. So you start on level 0. Your clock goes from all the way up to 7. Alright?
Mommy in
So
pajamas?
if
She
I
gets plus
take
2?
damage, say I take 2 damage, I would reveal the top
Just
card
for
of my
this
deck and see if
Kyoko
it's a
confesses a
climax,
pass?
which is one of these cards that's sideways.
Oh, okay.
And if it's a climax, then I immediately stop, and none of that damage goes through. And it goes to
Sayaka
win
versus
room, which is the drop
Kyoko?
zone or
Plus
discard pile.
1,000, plus 1 soda, everything.
And so I check all that damage to see if any of it, and if any of those are that, it immediately
so
stops.
that's split 2.
If I get to 7
2.
at any point, then I immediately take the first 7
If you
cards.
level.
Because like say you hit me and I go.
How
for
many
9.
climaxes were in your?
Then I would take those 2 cards
One.
that are
Over
past
here is
7
one.
and put them to the side. Look at those 7, and pick one of those cards to go over here as to represent the level. Now, the reason you would have to worry about that, well, this is a terrible hand to demonstrate this with. It's all yellow. You'll
55,
notice that there are different
2,
colors. Level
3.
0, you don't even have to worry about the color to play a card. You can just play it outright. You
And that's 3.
then you have
4.
well, that's just green. Awkwardly, you don't have the second main color in your hand either.
Did you just level?
But so if you had
Good rush time,
if you
good
had
rush
this
time.
at your
Apparently
level, and maybe this, and that's it. Then on level 1, you could
No
not
level one for
play
you.
any of your level 1 cards because they're green and not blue. You have to be representing the color
Okay.
down here, either in the level or the clock to play. But now there is a phase after you do your beginning of turn stuff and before your main phase where you can clock. Once per turn, during that clock phase, you can just clock yourself from your hand. Any card in your hand can go to your clock.
Are you looking at my
damaging
hand?
yourself for 1
No,
and discarding
not.
cards effectively.
I can't see that
To
good enough in the
Draw
screen
2
to see where I
cards.
am.
So you can take your normal
But
draw,
now I am.
then draw
No,
2
I'm
more
not.
if you hurt yourself.
Frank Dummer Global
Now,
500.
another reason you
points.
could do that is if this is in your level,
She has Encore, doesn't
and
she?
you clock yourself with this to draw 2,
Yes,
now
she
you
does.
have green represented,
These
and then
don't.
you could play
Those-
your green.
Everything's plus 1,200, I believe.
The costs
Yes,
are
everything's
from
$500.
what's called stock. Stock, when you attack, so say I had like
Okay,
that
pay one.
Nico.
Discard one.
This would be an awkward board to have. This would be terrible in it.
Search.
But if I attack, and I did a frontal, because your zones are actually spaced out like this, in this kind of formation. And the reason for that is you will have some. Let me see if I can cut the one. No.
He has a full field.
That bam. Well, either way, there are some like that,
No cost.
which there are a lot of cards with no cost. But the thing is, this one had, if you look, it
And I'm
first of all
just
has a
gonna-
really low power.
I'm gonna play her.
So if you have something in the back, it can't be attacked. But if you have it in center stage, it can be
And
attacked. So
gonna break
you wouldn't want to put something like this in front. The whole point of this
You
is
add
to
a
read the
character-
assist ability.
add a
Is all
character
of your
and a hand,
characters
please.
in
One.
front of this card get plus 500
set.
power.
One.
Yeah. So if you have this here, this will boost both of those 500. So this becomes a 7/5, and that becomes a
Oh, so if it was over here though, it was just.
right. So this one usually gets
I'm
more
gonna
boosts.
mini
Like
out.
say you have assists in both places that are
Yeah,
this
so
high.
it gets both of those, right?
Yeah. So like that would get both of these. So usually this one's a little more buff.
Okay.
Which is very important to note whenever you're determining positioning of it, because you determine at any point I can look at my field and I can go, I don't like the way this is set up, and I could actually do something like this if I want.
You could just move it?
You can swap them in any way you want before
So,
you attack.
She
Doing main
gets
phase.
2,000.
You only have one main phase. So you
For
have main
these
phase,
four.
and then you start doing all your
So
attacking.
she's
and
6'5", so she's 7.
And then after that,
Okay.
you have your encore step and all that kind of stuff, which we'll
Four.
explain as soon as we get to that. But
1.
so the thing is, because you only have one main phase,
I'm sorry.
the way you attack.
For 2.
You have to keep in mind,
Two?
that's what
I'm playing
they're
that,
going
yeah.
to see on their side of the board when they're attacking. So
Unless
there's
it's
certain
climax
positions
combo.
and certain things that you don't want to do
I'm side attacking.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, and right now he's
Hold
doing
up.
something called side attacking. Let me explain frontal and side attacks.
He's 2.
So, if you had a
2'5".
board like this,
She's only
which
3'5".
You'd want that in the back because
Yeah, she's
So,
and
I'm
that
side
has an
attacking.
ability
One.
that you
For
can just
one.
do every turn. Like that brainstorm is pay
Oh.
once. Oh, wait a minute. When I attack,
Is this rest one?
Five,
Rest
six,
this
11.
card?
yeah. And let me explain stock real quick. When I attack, say I do a frontal, which I'm gonna do a frontal. Let me at least make
Okay.
one that makes sense.
So when it attacks,
so I do a front.
I can pay 1.
What this means
Return
is
a
this is
character from
actually
my waiting
attacking
room to my
the
hand.
one directly in front. This is a frontal.
Sure, why not?
So if I frontal attack here, then you compare the power level. So this would get the buff from here. So that's 85.
Return.
Oh, this is
This would be a
15.
65. So you would compare those.
That card everybody's gonna
Then I
hate.
would then I would check.
Sure, why not?
Does that look like the face of mercy to you? Did you see that image?
That,
The group?
I would take
That was it. It was.
the top card
Does
of
that
my
look
deck
like the face of mercy to you?
and check up here. This thing, if you
I don't
look
know
at
why
it,
I'm shuffling my waiting room.
This is how much
I'm
soul
returning this to my hand.
the card attacks for.
So
So this has one soul
It's,
printed on
7.
the card. That is how
Okay.
much damage
Eight,
it will
excuse
deal
me,
with the
8 for 2.
Well, actually, it's how much
Two?
damage
Yeah.
you'll deal when it goes in. The reason I say that is because whether or
cut
not, like say I even attacked in with this, and I did even a frontal, which by the way is
Okay.
literally suicide. I could do a frontal on that, and you would still take damage. It doesn't matter if it's bigger or not, you're taking damage. The downside is after, like say I attacked with this Nico here, and
Here,
flip the
but
top.
there's nothing there.
No, here.
Here.
Yeah, which you can't even do that anyway, because side attacking is actually just avoiding that
Block
and
and
hitting you
drop you.
directly, but you take a negative to the soul.
Okay.
So you attack this, my guy's
So,
more
like-
buffed out, right?
Yeah, so here's what would happen. I would attack here, even knowing it's suicide. Say I did.
kudzu.
He's so hurt, and this is legitimate.
Egoist Kyoko?
Is it part of your own genetic?
No. No. So you would flip the top card,
But it's kudzu.
and you would add the amount of soul up here to your soul. This is
I'll do 2.
so.
for
If I had
Mommy and Josephine.
this,
And I'll do Cubic.
then I would add one soul because it's one of the soul icons. This, if there's any other icon, if you hit like the climax when you're attacking,
Sayaka Kyoko
Bam.
plus the 1000
And
plus
there's
the
any
climax
other-
combo.
Okay.
2 and
Then
I
deck
just
boxes.
return
Push
2
your
characters
button
from waiting
and
room to hand.
You pay 2.
if there's any other icon,
Right.
that means there's an
Okay.
ability on it that
With the
triggers.
Are you guys leaving?
And you can read it right here.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that's bye.
So
Okay.
You know what that means?
that's how it works. So if,
Yeah,
so
because
let's
it's not
say
a
I
camera
hit,
in here.
Ravage Nick.
Besides that
exactly what I
camera.
wanted.
You get double, right? So you
Yeah,
get
so it would go
double
2.
boost.
So this would go to 3.
Okay, she reversed
Now here's what
this.
would happen.
So that's for
So I
3.
reveal this.
Yeah.
This goes to 3.
3.
This now
Is that
goes
plus
into
two
what's
soul?
called stock.
Oh, no,
which is
yeah.
over here,
So that's
upside down,
5?
sideways.
Yeah, 5.
This is what you use
Cancel.
to pay your costs.
I should attack
So
with
when I
5.
wanted to play
Oh,
this, if I was on level 2 and I had yellow represented back here, I could play this by paying one
because it's a
stock.
climax after.
What do you mean by play though?
So I
Like
can
if I
return
played
2
two
characters.
climaxes.
Like if I had it in my hand and I was
you
on,
wanted to
Oh,
lay it down, you have to pay
that's
top
good.
stock?
yeah, I'm gonna pay
climaxes
stock
are
equal
in
to
there
the
now?
cost right here, the
Oh,
lower.
okay, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Let me
So-
return 2 characters.
This one I wouldn't have to pay anything for. That one, that one I'd have to pay one stock. That one I'd have to pay one stock. So if I attacked with that Nico, what would happen is I would
the
reveal
two
that and
change
go to
characters.
3 soul, and then after I reveal and put that in the stock, then you would first take
4.
your damage,
5.
which would be 3. So you'd reveal the top one,
You
and
get
then this would
5.
cancel the whole thing because you hit a climax. So that then you're done. It goes there. Then after that, we determine which cards in this combat are quote reversed. What that is
And she's.
is literally just
Wait,
turning
I
upside
should have
down.
even asked what's
So
the
because that
power?
power level is higher than this one, it's
It's
turned upside
higher.
down,
Okay.
which is
Well,
reversed.
I don't understand. What that? You're just confusing me right here.
At the end,
Also,
at the end,
I didn't
at
ask
the end
any
of
of
the
the powers.
turn,
What's she?
yeah. So like, here's why it's
But
just
she's
reversed.
spawned now.
Because
What's
then I
her-
would go on to the next one. I
3.
could do a direct attack because I would be attacking here and there's nothing there. That means I'm doing a direct attack,
So I would take
which
direct
adds
So
one soul.
I can
So that means I'm hitting for
encore-
1. The direct makes it 2. Then I reveal the top, and it's 3.
3. So I can take the top 3.
So then it would look 1, 2, 3, and then this would go into your clock. So you would, So
Draw.
now you have 3 damage on that level. And now since that was directed, there was no
Clock.
No, it's not reversed.
Draw.
The same would happen here. I would do 1, and it'd be 2 because it's a
Yeah,
direct.
because it acts and that's another one.
Yeah, and so you would take that damage. And so see how every time you attack, that ends up building stock. And one of the things, like say this Nico, I said I did a frontal
Right.
earlier.
Like
If
a rat.
if I was forced, like say for some stupid reason, something happened and I was tied behind my back and I had to attack with this Nico in this position, which I never would. But say I had to.
What would you though? I mean, like,
I like how that
you,
card's
you
on the
still attack like
poster.
that?
No, here's what happens with
Left
reversed.
card on the set.
At the end of the turn, well, after all of this, you have your encore step. Now, during your encore step is when you can save any reverse characters. The simplest way, the way that's actually built into the core rules of the game, is by paying 3 stock. So I can pay 3 stock to save this Nico,
Why would you pay 3 though?
because that's just the cost to save something. It doesn't matter what it is.
If I have
it costs
4
3
more
to save it.
I put a.
Now, if I didn't want to pay 3, if I thought that was too steep, because obviously it would be, this is a level 0 Nico, I would let it go.
I wouldn't.
She's my waifu.
Right?
But
That's 8
but
with encore. That's
so
9 with encore.
Everything
if I
has
didn't
plus
pay
1.
it, there are some
9.
like say this.
9, 5, 10.
Say you had this and you attacked in, and
this
something
is the
happened and it
only
got
encore.
reversed. If
That's
you read the
also-
text,
oh.
it
No,
says
that's
encore,
only,
which means there's something that can happen during the
Phonics
encore. So
combo.
if you read it, it says put a character from hand into waiting
It's
room.
actually not that
And
good.
Waiting room would
I
be
just have
over
to
here.
the
right?
discard pile.
Brainstorm.
Oh, the discard pile. Yeah.
It's waiting room. So you would put a character in your hand for the
Return
waiting room.
one.
So if I did that and put it into the waiting room, then and if you read the rest of the
Goes
text,
to
it
this.
just saves it. Yeah, it just puts it resting, which is the same thing as paying the 3 to do it. So that is another option. And then there are things like this promo, which actually it'll say encore because it happens during the encore step, but it actually just makes it to where you can pay 2 to save it instead of
Okay.
Oh, it says
No,
2.
whatever.
yeah. So you would
You
just
should
pay 2
actually kill
stock
something.
instead of 3.
I'm gonna
to
play
save that.
first thoughts.
Okay.
And that's
Plus 1,000,
and
plus
that's
1
what the
soul
reversing is
everywhere.
about. It's
Well, beginning of
in
climax
queue
things
to
before I did
die.
it.
Like it's about to die. But
And what if you can't save it? What happens?
if you can't save it, it dies.
Like that's at the end of
It's
your
only
turn?
7
Yeah.
5.
After all the combats and everything, you go to your
And it goes
encore
to
step.
show that
switch
nothing
on
happens in
one.
Nothing
encore, then
happens.
it goes to
No, it's not. It's 8
Okay,
5.
I got you.
Get wrecked.
And
I know.
so you'll have
She's not.
I know.
so those go to that deck.
So
You should have had that here, so I
And
could
so
kill
yeah,
that.
once you
I know.
hit 7,
So I'm gonna
the other thing
direct-
is you are going to go through your deck really
Direct?
quickly.
You mean your attack?
You
Frontal.
will very quickly have
I know.
a game
She
save that
reverse?
looks like this.
she'll reverse, yeah.
Does that mean there's
Two.
she
Because
was
of
my
this,
guy?
they added a
Two.
rule to
Well,
the
no,
game
not
called
you. Okay.
refresh.
Wait,
So
I don't
what
think so.
happens, say I'm
She's
here,
2,000.
you hit me for 3 damage. Okay,
2 5.
so
3,
I
5,
would go
yeah, just
1,
2 damage, right?
Yeah.
2. I don't have any more cards.
Okay.
Okay.
So what happens
I'm gonna
is
side
you would immediately pause
for
the entire game
1.
to refresh.
1, 2,
It interrupts
0.
absolutely
Zero. Yeah.
everything you're doing. So then you just shuffle your waiting room, present it to your opponent, cut.
I'm gonna
Now,
start again.
direct.
now after that happens,
Well, no.
you
I'm-
finish the action
I'm
that
at
caused
five.
you to do it. So I would do the 3rd damage. It goes through. Then you take 1 damage for refreshing. So I would then take my damage. Now, the thing is, for normal damage, if
I'm
you
gonna
hit me for
side.
that 3,
Okay.
and
Plus
say I hit
0.
a climax here,
1.
all of that damage would be canceled and we go to the waiting room.
Okay.
But if
And
I
then,
hit a
I'm gonna,
climax,
when I did that, I'm gonna pay the
I
1
wish I would have cut to 1.
to get 1 back.
On the refresh damage, it goes through because you cannot cancel it through a climax. The refresh damage just happens. So that
It
is
happens and
yeah,
that cancels out that thing then.
yeah, you get nothing. It just goes there.
Okay.
So that is like the absolute worst thing you would want to happen on your refresh damage, to lose
Let me
your
get this back.
climax on.
Okay, whatever.
And it
it's a
happened to me
backup, isn't
4
it?
times in a row
Your
at
turn.
Gen Con.
How much is it?
3,000. Cool.
But
How much is it
yeah,
cost?
and so
One.
the game ends up.
Okay.
Your turn.
It ends up being a thing where, because of the fact that you level up at
this is
7,
gone.
there's a lot of focus on when your opponent's going to level, when you're going to level. You know, all the damage leading to level typically doesn't mean much until the end of it, unless you're on level 3 or unless the deck's doing certain
Hey,
things.
you can't
It's-
level up
Claw?
until you.
It's
Draw
all taking
two?
damage.
Like stop.
The levels
Oh,
are all damage. So
not
like
level?
say you hit me, say I'm on 6, and you hit me for 3, and I go 1, 2, and let's say I wasn't a 3. I was going to laugh if there was
I'm
a
gonna pay 2.
then what would happen is I look here, there's
Aw.
6.
Yep. Are you
So
gonna
to
pay
complete
2?
this, I would take the first one that I revealed and make it the 7. Now I look
You don't
at
have
these
any
7
change.
and I pick
Okay.
one to go into my level to represent
I'm
the
gonna
level.
get rid of
I want.
this.
What's so important
Okay.
about picking one?
Because of the fact that,
Oh,
for
mommy,
one thing,
I don't
you
heal.
need a card to represent the level in the game. So that you don't have to have a counter or anything.
Yeah, right,
Design-wise. So what happens is, for one thing, like I said before, you can only play cards of colors you have represented in your damage between your clock and your level. So realize, once my clock is full and I put something on my
Okay,
level, like say I decide to put this Katori over here,
Give it a
I
pass.
can only play the yellow card.
then all of this would go to the waiting room,
She's change, and during my turn,
and these will
every
go
character
here.
gets
Now notice I
1,000.
only have yellow. I can't play my red cards now
Right.
until I put something on here for red, or if it's a level 0, because level
There's really
0
no
doesn't
reason to
care
use,
about the color, it just
climax
ignores it if you
combo.
play it. But it makes it to where
So with the power.
you have to kind of be careful on
I'm
what you
just
do,
gonna
and
destroy
also
them, right?
it makes it, because you gotta
7.
remember, since you refresh, you
7.
don't want to get rid of things that you want to see later in the game. So, like say this level 3.
Where is it?
Heals
How
me
many
when
do
I
you
play it.
have?
I want to
What are
see
you looking
this when
for,
I hit
creep
level
seed?
3. I would not put this over here whenever I hit level 1.
One. You have
I
one.
want to see it in my deck again.
So
You have one.
that's
And
3.
there's other
You said it was
reasons.
3.
Yeah. It's
But
And what are the powers
it
again?
ends up being a lot of things.
told you.
in the end.
7.
When is it when somebody wins? How do you get the?
When you
get
hit
him-
level 3 and 7 damage.
You deal 28 damage to him.
Basically. So when you hit level 3 and have the 7, and it sounds like a lot,
But it's not.
It ends up being. I mean, the game isn't short, but
no,
it's
wait.
also not ridiculous.
It's like magic. It's like a magic game.
It's about the length of a magic game.
That's kind of long to me. man.
Well, because you play
Okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's not that long.
He plays
Okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's not that long.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Here we go.
Yu-Gi-Oh was short.
Yeah, you can literally end it like in the third round.
Plus 1,000. Plus 1 cell.
Like, well, you
You
used to
want
be able to
number?
FTK like mad.
It's gonna be worse.
When Future Fusion was in, it didn't take much to FTK.
Okay. 3 damage.
So is there
Are-
another Yu-Gi-Oh tournament?
Are you
How
going to
much?
be able to? You know about the regionals?
Yeah, it's coming next
I was
week.
going to say, are you going to be able to
One.
make it here? Or are you going to be stuck at work?
Let's see here. I don't work
What are you doing?
weekends.
You
I'm
take the
leveling.
rest of your
You
damage.
know,
Oh,
yeah, I don't know what I'm
anything?
doing. One,
Baller. All right, cool.
2.
Just curious.
See, you can't.
I don't know what I'm doing. I forgot how to
Can I
play.
mention?
Do they have
2, 3, 4.
Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments on Saturdays?
You're wrecked.
When are the Yu-Gi-Oh
That's the other
tournaments
one.
regular?
4,
Actually,
Or has it
two,
just stopped?
technically,
3.
tonight would be one,
Okay.
but it never ranks. It's always Vanguard on Thursdays, but the other time form is Saturdays.
Okay. Yeah, seeing as well.
And you win?
Yeah, this ends up being Vanguard.
Vanguard. Yeah, I kind of figured because last time I came, that was
Oh, I got
these
a
guys
refresh.
here as well as Jimmy.
Oh,
Was it
yeah.
last week?
And it was like two
Now I
weeks
can
or
heal.
3 weeks ago.
I was going to say that. Then I should have been here, but I've been here every Thursday, but last for a while now.
How big is she?
Did you bring your Yu-Gi-Oh card?
8, 9,
I
10.
did. Actually, I just quit
10
Yu-Gi-Oh.
pop.
Quit Yu-Gi-Oh? Holy crap!
While I was at Gen Con, I quit Yu-Gi-Oh.
For 2.
Okay, so she.
And it was
we
mostly
went
because, well, for
5,
one
5.
thing, I'm not gonna lie.
We do this
when
first, right?
I
6.
stopped
We do
working here in
damage first.
Utopia,
So
and
6,
I
5,
didn't see
7.
the crowd that
So,
much anymore.
2 damage.
Oh, I can believe it, man.
How big is that?
It's like
You take your damage.
my
right?
How big
drive
is that?
play went down. That
8,
coupled with the fact
9,
that I'm like
10,
another card
5.
type that's going to speed the game up
3.
again. It's like
She's at
before
7, so I
synchros,
can't
the
do
game
it.
had a
No,
decent
you back
boost
up
to
and
it.
then you would take a-
synchros.
Oh, okay.
Then they buffed
How much?
synchros, and we had a special something like Madden that makes synchros happen. It's like okay.
Yep.
They did the same thing with Ixies later.
Can't
I'm like,
say.
man,
Pendulums suck.
Well, the thing is, I heard there's going to be a 3K beater that's that you can't get rid of by card effects.
The isn't it the Pendulum Dragon?
Yeah, and it's like you can only kill it by running over it, and it's like,
Draw.
really, guys?
If you look at it, I mean, come on, it's
Clock.
there's a lot of cards nowadays where you could just buff up all your guys. And stuff.
Well, I mean that's true, but it's like it's weird because they're trying to take the game in two directions. They're trying to slow the game down and speed it up at the same time. It's confused what it's trying to do. So I'm temporarily quitting.
So
like
that's
I don't
eight,
ever permanently quit a card game.
Everything has 5 on my time.
I've realized that over
So
the last
8, 5,
decade.
10, 5,
I cannot
9, 5.
permanently quit a card game. But I've decided I'm
Oh.
temporarily out. I'll probably come back in 2 or 3 years, honestly. Probably even
What
shorter,
does she
who
do?
knows. Especially now that I have a job again.
Characters in
First
front
games-
get -1 soul,
Where-
and then
where
I can
does
pay
that-
2 when
pin
it
signs
reverses
bring
a
it
battle
up.
opponent. I can
Yeah.
put it directly into your clock.
Cool. So how do you determine who goes first?
Okay.
We can do anything.
Get wrecked.
Oh, Richard, that reminds me. The dice thing that you had in Dart Ranger ended up on my person, and I forgot
Is
to
it?
bring it. The little D6s
How big?
and the two
8x.
bigger D6s. I have them at home, and I entirely forgot to bring it, so I have to bring them by to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's a small thing, but
Yeah.
it still bugs me. But
So she gets 15, so puts her at 6.
so in your opening hand, because of the
7.
fact that you're on level 0,
You know I don't
you
have receipt.
you typically, because you get 1 mulligan, you typically want to pitch anything that's level 2 or higher, unless it's
Find
just
one more
something that's
stop.
like going to be uber tech late game.
Oh, is she
And
too?
sometimes you end up wanting to pitch
Yeah,
level
it costs
1s,
2.
depending on
Because you want to get rid of her?
depending on a few things.
I see.
But yeah, I mean, you really want to make sure you have some level 0s in your opening hand, typically.
Keep. I guess the effect goes off, then you do the check.
So like
right?
my hand, for instance,
Yeah.
and the way you
No, I
log in
check,
this,
and then I can do it.
say I go first.
I can get the
I'll go
stock,
ahead and
and
go
then I
first
can
just
still
so
do
I can
it.
kind of set the pace of the game a little bit.
I'll be able to do it because I'm going to type it out
Oh, and
first
first
anyway.
player in this game does draw.
Plus 1,000, plus 1 soul.
And first,
Oh yeah, you get
On
a
the side
to stop
attack?
that.
yeah, when the
zero?
games came out, they had the full switch
zero.
finally happen.
So I'm going
This
to attack
game, first player
for
does
3,
draw, and first player
direct.
can
How
attack,
much?
but
It's
only
gonna
with 1
reverse
unit.
her, right?
It'll reverse that.
Okay.
What's this stuff?
Because this is
Okay.
15 plus 5, so she's
I'm waiting
12.
for this guy
Okay.
to come out.
Let me see. Oh, him?
I like Grand Blue.
He's been out for a while.
So
Yeah, these are
4?
these are older promo packs.
Is it? She's 2,
I think-
2,
I think I have
3.
a base
Okay.
on him.
4. Okay.
I,
So
played,
that's
I played
reversed.
against some Grand Blue
Pay
at
2.
Gen Con,
What are you putting?
and actually lost.
That puts
Wait.
this directly into
Oh,
stock.
what's reversed? I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never. Like I said, I stopped
Your
playing,
turn.
so I don't know which ones are new. anymore.
Yeah, I know what it's like. Trust me, I do that all the games. I mean, right now it's just Weiss Schwartz and LP for mostly.
I lost. I needed stock.
Sayaka looks at mommy,
Okay,
look
so you
top
want
card.
me to go first then?
Put it at the bottom. Yeah.
I'll go first just to set the pace.
So is it 5 or 6?
It's
5.
5, but both players are going to draw at the beginning of the turn.
I get a,
So
you get a partial mulligan too.
yeah, which is what I was explaining.
I'm gonna get
earlier.
rid of Cube.
So I'm gonna pitch 4. So
hold on.
what you do is you
I
actually
should've
put them
done
face
this.
down first.
Brainstorm, right?
So when you choose
Yeah.
what you want to get rid of, honestly, level 0s keep unless you just have all of them and you're worried about being clogged on one of them or
2.
something.
Wow.
And what do you do when you
one-
brainstorm?
I guess out of character
Ones
from
you can
deck
keep
down.
sometimes. 2s, it's a rare occasion to keep them. 3s, will pretty much always pitch. Right now I'm pitching 4, which I'll just
Is that only during your turn?
it's just like right now we're just mulligan.
Okay.
It's like at the beginning of the game.
So now we should put them, get rid of them,
What are you getting?
and then
Yes,
draw
yeah.
them any back.
That's what I'm getting. Oh, wait, I
and
get
that's
2.
our one chance to
Son of a-
really.
So what happens if you get a
That Nico's upside down.
what if you get a clean climax?
It's not that
You can keep them, you can clock them, you can.
Yeah, there's
wait till,
actually
like, level 1.
before you attack, there is a climax phase, at which point you can actually play the climax to your climax
Get
zone, and the
something.
text on it goes into effect. So it has a use from your hand too.
Okay, I got you.
Wasted. Nah.
So,
yeah, shit, I was completely
my
wasted.
first
I don't know why I
turn-
did that. Yo.
I'm going to refrain from playing this first turn. This would typically be my first turn play, but it's probably a little bit more confusing for someone who just knowing.
Hero finale.
Go for it.
Will you pounce?
Just show me what you normally do.
Okay, so
12.
this is a common type of card,
And then
that
this
is that.
6.
Keep in mind that symbol is reversed.
5.
So basically, if this hits a level
Plus-
0
no, wait a minute, no, this
in
is
any
one, sorry.
circumstance, and this gets reversed,
This is.
your unit gets reversed.
She gets 1,500, putting her at 6.
Where does that
Then
say?
another 1,000.
The second
so
auto
7.
ability.
When this
She's
card
7.
becomes
And she's
reversed,
what?
you get
12.
this card
12.
battle the opponent is level
Plus
0
2,000
or
plus
lower.
So,
is there really a lower?
And I draw.
That's just in case there's some sort of thing that says
So
this
she's
thing gets
13?
negative
She has
1 or
minus
something, and
soul
technically it would be
because of
negative
this.
1
So
even
she's
though
2
it's not
so
printed.
now.
Yeah.
That's all that's for. But yeah, so
Okay.
I would play her to
Direct
the middle of
back
center
up
stage.
For 1.
A lot of promos, sir.
Okay.
And when do you have. When
That's when she attacks.
when
Candy?
does she text you?
Candy on top.
3
But,
for you?
So that would be my play for center stage.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and actually
two
before I do
open
that,
out as
I'll-
effect.
I
it's a
need to make
direct
sure I do
attack.
that first turn, just so you. So
I get my soul back.
before
though,
the
right?
main phase, you have your clock phase.
Yeah,
So
I
right
assume
now-
you do.
I can
But
take.
I don't get. But it's still a direct attack.
I'm going to take
It's still a direct attack, so
this
she doesn't get
and
plus
clock
one.
it,
Yeah, no,
which
I
is
know.
actually just
So it's
hitting myself
2,
for 1
3.
and draw 2.
Exactly,
Because that's the
it's
rule.
3.
When you clock in your clock phase, which you
You're
only do
gonna
once per turn, you draw 2.
That's game.
So now
I
I'm
need
already
one more
more damage.
stock.
You're technically winning.